Hi everyone and welcome to today's reading. If you are here for the first time, it is most likely because there is a message in this reading for you. If you haven't already subscribed, you're most welcome to do so. If the reading resonates with you, please hit the like button. I am a illustrator and an intuitive tarot reader. My messages come through most commonly in songs that I channel prior to the reading, and then when I go and do some research into those songs, I then get more information and I will come and do a reading to get clarification on the messages that I am getting. So the song that was coming through this morning is Jealous by Labyrinth. Now, when you initially look at that song, it comes off as, the lines are, I'm jealous of the way the rain falls upon your skin. I wish you all the best. All that life can give, and that desire for that person to come back. In the beginning, it seems to be, and I think that's the way it was written, was for it to be able to be felt across a broad spectrum of people and situations. But when I actually delved into the reason that that song was written, the artist was actually writing at about his parents, specifically about his father, who had left the family, chosen to leave the family. His mum and I think there was 8 children, had chosen to leave the family when the artist was a small child. And so he's talking about he's jealous of the way that his father is happy without him. So when we look at it from current day context, if you are in separation with somebody, if you are or have been in a relationship with somebody that's now ended, if you are feeling those feelings of jealousy towards that person, as in, they are happy without you. Now, this could be you, or it could actually be the person that you're thinking of. If those feelings of jealousy are coming up, specifically if you are in separation, it's because they are meant to. It's because there are things that need to be healed before, and if this relationship is meant to come back together, things that are meant to be healed before you come back together. Or on an individual level, things that you are meant to heal before you embark on any new relationship. And so the fact that, and I, the past couple of days it's been raining here, and every morning when I've woken up, the it's these sort of dark clouds and it's still raining, like rained all night. And so when you wake up in the morning, you're not sure what time it is because the lighting in your bedroom is sort of different from what it is normally. And so for me, that raining, that symbology of, rain to me is tears and, lots and lots of purging, that sort of thing. Now, this morning I woke up and for the first time, I think it had rained a little bit overnight, but the sun was shining when I woke up this morning, and automatically I knew from my body clock and from, the time that I normally wake up in the morning, I knew exactly what time it was without actually having to check my clock. But that sun symbolizes the illumination, the realization that maybe the jealous feelings that you or your person have towards somebody that has walked away from you has more to do with things, with unchecked trauma from your past. So when I went researching, there's a thing called retroactive jealousy, and essentially it's deep-seated unhealed trauma from childhood. Now, as I said, it could be, somebody that you loved, that you were close to, that passed away. It could be parents leaving. It could be trauma from, from being abandoned if you were bullied as a child by, friendship groups. It could be a relationship, a serious relationship that you were in, that one party, left and you felt abandoned. essentially it's feeling rejected and abandoned by somebody that you love. And if that trauma goes unchecked, it will then filter into the foundations of whatever new relationship that you build. So, as I said, if you are in separation with somebody, these things need to be dealt with in order for the foundation to be built on solid ground before you come back together. If you are in separation, if you are no longer with somebody and you have no desire to reconnect with that person, it's a time of illumination so that you can check that trauma, deal with that trauma, in order to get yourself ready for the next phase, the next relationship that is to come in your life. So I'm going to pull some cards and see what other information we get. I'm using my Lovebirds Tarot deck. To clarify, I'm using my large and little Divine Portal tarot decks, and then I'm going to get some channel messages from Spirit, some angel messages, who's watching over you, who's helping you through this childhood trauma, or helping your person through this childhood trauma. And then I'm going to get some messages from your 5D self, and then I'm just going to get some initials, might give you a bit more information. So if this reading resonates with you, please hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. If you like my readings, I will be posting regularly. If you are interested in any of my decks, they're all hand illustrated by me, and the links for those are in the description box. So let's get going and see if we can get some extra information. The Hierophant, the Sun, Illumination, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Hermit. This is absolutely beautiful. And the King of Pentacles on the bottom. So if we look at the Hierophant is big structures within your life. So it could be people that you're married to, people that are your family. It's essentially the the concrete in the building, the no, not the concrete, um, the foundations of the building. So if we go back to the song, it's the foundations of the abandonment that he felt from parental figures. That foundation. It could be somebody that you were married to that you are now separated from. It could be a big relationship, in your life. It could be the foundations of friendships that you formed in childhood, or the foundations of the bullying that you experienced in childhood that left you with those abandonment wounds. It's big foundations, the foundations of how you built your life up, essentially on your fear of abandonment, your fear of unworthiness, and that building, those bricks build, and then when you enter a new relationship with somebody and that separation happens again, that feeling of abandonment happens again, that jealousy comes forward. Well, are you happy without me? Those feelings come up. And what's happening here is we've got the sun, which is, what I was talking about this morning, when the sun came into my room. So it's days of rain, days of tears, and then that sudden realization for you or your person, and take it as it resonates. We may be talking about you. We may be talking about somebody that you're dealing with. It's that realization that that anger and resentment and feeling of abandonment that's happening in your current situation actually stems from that childhood trauma, that unchecked childhood trauma. So when we look at the Queen of Pentacles here, once you have this illumination, you can set yourself free. You can actually build your, now the Queen of Pentacles is solid, stable, she knows herself, she builds her own wealth. So this is building your own emotional wealth now that you are illuminated. And we've got the Hermit on the end here. The Hermit is taking the time for that internal reflection to realize that the things that are being experienced, those emotions that you are experiencing currently, are actually from the past. And once you've actually dealt with them, you can become this Queen of Pentacles. And if you're wanting to, reconnect with somebody from, if you are in separation, or, for this person, if once they've made that realization, when you reconnect, you then build with the Hierophant, you then build the foundations of the relationship on a much stronger footing. And on the bottom of the deck, we've got the King of Pentacles. So if it is a relationship, you are then coming back together as, and I'm seeing the Six of Pentacles as an equal give and take. Those foundations are being built because previously, and underneath that, we've got the Seven of Swords, which is often sneaky illusion. The illusion that you are actually angry with this person is actually not that. It's these unchecked wounds from childhood that need to be illuminated, and that is what this separation is for. Okay, let's have a look. We're going to clarify, make sure they're Page of Cups. Offering that cup of love to yourself in order to heal those childhood wounds. And you can't do that unless you put in hermit mode. You don't get illumination, unless you take a step back and recognize that what's coming to the surface is actually deep-seated trauma that needs healing. Okay, let's have a look at the Sun. Yeah, death and rebirth. So that illumination of that Sun actually offers you a new beginning, a new perspective, a new life is what I was hearing, and new opportunities in relationships that you want to put your time and effort into. Yeah, but you needed to go into the hermit mode in order to have that illumination. And even today, like when I look out into my garden, now it's been raining so much, my pool is literally right to the top. The water is right to the top of the edge of the pool. Now I've got to go and empty that. So emptying out the trauma from your childhood in order, it's almost like a cleansing. And even the rain the last couple of days, almost a cleansing, releasing all of that stuff. And when I look out into the garden, as I said, all of the trees are this, after rain you get that, the trees are greener than green. They're almost an iridescent green. Yeah, and it's just got this kind of smell of, there's butterflies out there and dragonflies out there. It's almost this smell of uh, fresh new life after it's rained. And I think that's what has had to happen. And you may be seeing a separation as the worst possible thing, but in the long term, it's for your benefit in order to build better foundations, that are based on illumination as opposed to trauma. So let's have a look at this Queen of Pentacles. Three of Wands, yeah. So that's new beginnings, new horizons. What is now coming for you because you're out of that jealousy, trauma mindset. And as I said, if we're talking about your person, out of that mindset, working through those demons. So the Hermit, King of Wands. And I should have said it previously when I turned the pile over. The Seven of Wands was on the bottom, which is defensiveness. So it's there again. It's obviously meant to be there. And this King of Wands in this scenario is somebody who doesn't want to deal with them. They're defensive. No, it's nothing to do with me. I'm actually just jealous of that person because they're doing things that, it is bringing up these emotions for me. You might have a jealous ex, or you might be jealous of, somebody that you're in separation with. And you're defensive if somebody actually, or you're defensive to the illumination that it's actually not about them. You're actually not jealous of them. You are in need of going into hermit mode and having the real reason that this jealousy is coming up. You're needing that to be illuminated. And I always say with this King of Wands, it's, all the gear and no idea. So I can look the part, I can look like the scorned lover, all this sort of stuff, but all of those feelings that you're harboring are actually your internal feelings that are connected to this childhood trauma. And moving away from being defensive about it and actually making an effort to look into it, do the work. So let's have a look. Anything else? Yeah, confusion with the Seven of Cups there. Confusion, for you or for your person as to why these things are coming up. Maybe you're very angry that the other person is moving on, angry, but it's all this childhood trauma that's bubbling up to the surface that you're meant to deal with, or that your person's meant to deal with. Okay, so the Sun, and yeah, that's lovely. Let me turn that around, sorry. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. So once there's illumination, there then is a death and rebirth. And with the Wheel of Fortune here, that Wheel of Fortune is getting yourself out of that mindset so that you can have a new beginning. It may be a new relationship with yourself, you know, when you have those childhood wounds, they then, because it's this Hierophant, because it's, big core relationships in your life that you have felt, abandoned from, that seeps through into every relationship. And maybe you have a practice of staying in relationships longer than you're meant to because you don't want to be alone. All of those things are actually coming up to the surface. And once they're illuminated, then you can make the changes that you need. And once you actually get yourself out of that mindset, you realize how miserable you were. But, currently it's being, defensive about it. And again, I may be talking about your person, so just take it how it resonates. Being defensive, oh, I'm fine, it's not me, it's not me. When the reality is that, and I'm hearing the word liberation, this putting down this wand, being less defensive about it, and letting yourself become illuminated to the reasons why these feelings are coming back up to deal with is actually liberating. too many, but, well, actually, I'm going to take them because they're meant to be here. So we will sorry, they're a bit slippery. So the first card that I saw was the Tower, pulling down the structures of your mindset, pulling down, or this person pulling down the structures of their mindset, waking up and realizing that things from their past are actually affecting things in their future. Nine of Pentacles, liberation, which is what I just said. Freedom, that's the card of freedom. Planting seeds is the Seven of Pentacles. Planting seeds, sowing the seeds is the Nine of Pentacles. You know, this jealousy is being planted all throughout your life because of trauma from childhood. And where do you want to plant your seeds now? Doing the work so that where you're planting the seeds isn't infiltrated by this childhood trauma. Page of Cups, we've got again. Giving to yourself. Queen of Wands. Again, you know, this sunflower here. If you plant sunflowers, they will open up so they close up, and every morning they open up and they face the sun all day. They kind of move and face the sun, and then at night time they close again. So if you're planting your sunflowers in an area of your life that is unhealed, then they're never going to bloom. Ace of Cups, giving that cup of love to yourself. And in turn, once you've done that, then being able to bring forth, once you've done the work, then being able to bring forth the relationship that you desire. Now, whether it is building new foundations on an existing relationship that you're in separation with somebody from, or putting new foundations in so that the right Ace of Cups relationship can come forward towards you. And Queen of Cups, that's the most love. So she holds the Ace of Cups and she gives the full cup. So you give the full cup to yourself because you do the work, or again, the person gives the full cup because they do the work, and then they can come and give that cup to themselves. And on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Star. So healing these childhood wounds in order to be able to come forward as a stronger, healed individual, so that what you can offer to yourself and to other people is built on the right foundations. Okay, so we are going to look at some messages from Spirit. What does Spirit want to tell you at this time? Oh goodness, third party. So something that overthinking, hidden in plain sight, something that, and if we're talking about in a relationship, if you are separated from your person, that jealousy, that you're worried that there's now a third party involved, that your person has maybe gone off with somebody else, or vice versa. They're worried that you're with a third party. But those feelings of jealousy about that third party aren't actually about that third party. They're about these wounds that this person or that you need to recognize and deal with from things that have happened in your childhood. Overthinking, hidden in plain sight, recognizing that they are your wounds and you're just projecting them onto somebody else. Because if somebody is in a third party, if somebody moves on to somebody else, it's all meant to happen. We've got the Star here, fated. It's all meant to play out this way in order for you to grow and evolve, so that, as I said, if you come back together, you come back as more aware human beings, or if you're meant to have this relationship as a lesson, you can then move on to the next, potential relationship, more evolved. So we're going to get some more. Joyous resolution. And there will be resolution once these wounds from childhood are actually dealt with. Evidence. Why have we got evidence? Thinking, maybe you're looking for evidence, or maybe a person is looking for evidence that you have moved on to a third party, or that you are with a third party. But again, it's all of this Seven of Wands, this defensive. It's not about me. It's about this person and the third party, hidden in plain sight. The evidence is that that jealousy comes from this childhood wounding. So one more. Struggling with personality patterns, which is exactly that. Your personality is born, well, you obviously, everybody's born with traits of the people that they are around, traits of the people that they are, through their DNA. You can look back to, childhood when somebody says, oh, you remind me so much of your great uncle, but you've never met that person, but you have personality patterns that are the same as that person. But you also inherit personality patterns from those people that are around you and from the experiences that you have, especially in childhood. So, this childhood trauma, this unhealed childhood trauma, is this personality pattern. And not being defensive about it, and putting the blame on, external things that are potentially happening, with somebody that you're in separation with, but actually saying, rightio, why am I being triggered by this? Why am I feeling jealous? Going back and actually, getting some illumination as to where it's actually coming from. Okay, one more, and then, yeah, learning from hard lessons. It's tough. I mean, doing shadow work is not enjoyable at all. On the bottom of the deck, elevation, but it puts you in a better place, puts you in a better mindset, and you grow and you evolve. So we're going to look at what angel is supporting you or your person at this time. 56. Poel. It is the angel of fulfillment. So walking with you and guiding you to a place where you can feel fulfilled. One more. What angel is? Thank you. 69. Rochelle. Discovery. Discovering those unhealed, unchecked personality patterns, childhood trauma, so that you can work on them and have your fulfillment. And one more. Number 22. Fortune, fame, and new adventures. Yella, yeah. Oh, I can't pronounce that. I don't know why they made angel names so incredibly difficult to pronounce. But fortune, fame, and new adventures is feeling like a brand new person, feeling like you now have the world at your feet because you've worked through these, personality patterns that have come through from childhood, recognizing that you don't want to build any new beginning on the structure of those wounds. And on the bottom of the deck, we've got Harahel, fertility and abundance. So that's new beginnings, and new stable structures to build on. Now, let's get some messages. Now, these could be messages from your person. Just take it as it resonates. They could be messages if this is something that you're dealing with. They could be messages from your higher self. Wishes come true. Doing the work and having your wishes come true. I sabotage this because of fear. That fear of abandonment, getting all defensive, getting all jealous, potentially fights about, who you're talking to, what are you doing? Um, and it was all because of this fear of abandonment, this jealousy and fear that came from that abandonment, those wounds from childhood. And they, like I said, if you build a relationship with somebody who has those, and I'm talking about somebody who's never done any work on that, or never had any illumination as to where that's coming from, not somebody who's aware and is currently working on, because I think nobody enters a relationship in a perfect state of mind. I think that once you come into a relationship with somebody, you are there are things that you are meant to work on whilst you are together, but there are also things that you need to work on when you're in separation. And this fear, this jealousy is one of them, and potentially the thing that separated, but separated on purpose. This separation came because at that point in your relationship it was time, and a lot of healing you have to actually do on your own. You can't do with somebody else in your energy, in your space. I'm ready to leave my old life behind. That is that old mindset, being able to be given the opportunity. And I think for a lot of people, I look at COVID as a real, collectively, a real, really, really big opportunity for so many of us to do work on things that, we may have just been too busy to recognize. I mean, prior to COVID, everyone just had such busy lives, and all of a sudden the world stopped, and people were able to step back and go, okay, where have I been putting my time and effort into? What things are important to me and what are not? And so then all of these little things, all of this trauma that may have been unchecked started to bubble to the surface, and potentially brought about, these arguments and stuff in relationships, which, caused further separation, but it was meant to. Okay, you are often on my mind. I said one more, but we've got two. Yeah, love begins. That is self-love. Loving yourself first before you give to anybody else. And I melt inside your arms. When I read that, I think about the rain for the last couple of days. I melt inside your arms is that little child, or, that teenager feeling abandoned, and, that the rain, with that symbology of the rain and tears, that self-love, recognizing that little child, recognizing those feelings of abandonment as that little child, and allowing them to come to the surface, that rain, that cleansing, and then being illuminated, and that's when you can begin to love yourself. And on the bottom, dreams. So you may be getting information, guidance from spirit, guidance from your person's higher self within your dreams. In some ways, it's the dream of actually removing yourself, or for your person removing themselves from this jealous kind of fiery mindset in order to heal themselves, or heal the situation, in order for you to heal yourself or heal the situation and build those new foundations. Okay, so finally, I'm going to get some letters and numbers. Just got Scrabble tiles in here. So I'm going to give it a shake. If you are wearing headphones or AirPods, you may want to turn it down. It's not terribly noisy, but the initials in here may have relevance to you. It could be your first, middle, last initial, or that of you or your person's, or somebody that you dealt with in childhood. it could be anything, take it as it resonates. They've also got numbers on them, so I will read those as well. As I say, in most of my readings, if you have gotten information from the cards and from what I've been talking about, but your initials don't come up in here, it doesn't mean the reading isn't for you. Please just take what resonates. On the flip side, if you are kind of unsure if this is your reading and then your initials or something that is in respect to you comes out in the tiles, it may provide clarification that you need to go back and listen again. It may be that you need to come back to this reading in a couple of months' time because this is currently playing out, or you're not at the point where you're doing that reflection. So just take what resonates. As I said, I'm going to shake, so if you need to turn your volume down, you're most welcome to do so. Okay, I'm going to take that. So we have the letter M with the number 3, the letter A with the number 1, a T with the number 1, a Y with the number 4, a V with the number 4. Now, 4 or 444 you may be seeing, that is the number of protection. J with the number 8. Now, an 8, this year is the year of I can't say it. In numerology, it's the year of the 8. We've got the 888 portal happening in August. It is the year of karmic cycles, so major lessons being learnt. It is also the year of abundance. So working through those karmic cycles in order to have abundance on the other side, which I think we got the Wheel of Fortune somewhere, did we? Yeah, we did the Wheel of Fortune. So, karmic cycles. Number 1 with the letter I. Q always comes out. Q with the letter Q with the number 10. Sorry, not the letter. We have an S with the number 1. A Z with the number 10, and last but not least, we have a K with the number 5. So that is your reading. I will link the song in the description box. Thank you for joining me today. If this reading resonated with you, please hit the like button. You're most welcome to leave a comment. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you join me. If you are interested in any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can be found in the description box. And I am wishing you a beautiful day.